Heart hammering. Ashley woke up. Where? She didn't know. Small room, bare walls, single window too high to reach. Panic seized her. Who was she? Why was she here? She scrambled to her feet, legs shaky, head pounding. The room spun, a dizzying kaleidoscope of beige. She leaned against the wall, fighting nausea. Something was wrong, terribly wrong. A name surfaced in the chaos of her mind. Ashley. Yes, that was her name, but who was she? What was she doing here? The questions echoed in the silence, unanswered. Fear, cold and sharp, pierced through her confusion. She was alone, trapped, and something felt terribly, terribly wrong. A noise from outside. Ashley froze, breath caught in her throat, footsteps, heavy, deliberate, coming closer. Terror coiled in her stomach. The door swung open. A man stood silhouetted against the light, tall, imposing, dressed in black from head to toe. His face, hidden in shadows, sent shivers down her spine. He spoke, his voice a low, menacing growl. "We have to go, Ashley." He moved into the room, the shadows seeming to cling to him. Ashley shrank back, fear rooting her to the spot. Who was this man? Why did he know her name? And where, oh God, where was he taking her? They moved through endless corridors, the stranger's silence amplifying Ashley's fear. She stole glances at him, trying to place the chilling familiarity she felt. She had to escape. This had to be a nightmare, a horrible, vivid nightmare. She broke into a run, her breath catching in her throat. The man's grip on her arm was like iron. He pulled her back effortlessly, his strength terrifying. "Don't try that again," he warned, his voice a deadly whisper. Despair washed over Ashley. She was trapped, a prisoner in a nightmare she couldn't wake up from, and the man in black held the key. They reached a door. The man in black paused, his hand lingering on the handle. This was her chance. Ashley had to act fast. She slammed her elbow into his ribs, feeling a surge of satisfaction as he grunted in pain. She shoved past him, adrenaline coursing through her veins. The corridor stretched before her, seemingly endless. But she had to keep running, had to get away from him, from this place. Hope, fragile but real, flickered in her chest. Maybe she could escape this nightmare. Maybe she could wake up. Section 5. Trapped in a maze. Each turn led to another identical corridor, the same oppressive silence, the same suffocating despair. Ashley's hope began to dwindle. She was lost, trapped in a labyrinth of her own fear. The man in black was out there. She could feel his presence like a shadow. Exhaustion gnawed at her, but she couldn't stop. She had to find a way out, had to escape this unending nightmare. But deep down, a terrifying thought took root. What if there was no escape? What if this was her reality now? Section 6. A familiar face. A flicker of movement. Ashley stopped, her heart pounding. A figure stood at the end of the corridor, silhouetted against the dim light. The figure turned. It was her, another Ashley, identical in every way, her face a mirror of terror and confusion. Ashley stared, speechless, her mind reeling. Who was that? What was happening? This had to be a dream, a cruel, twisted dream. The other Ashley opened her mouth as if to speak, but then she vanished, leaving Ashley alone in the silent corridor. Section 7. The chase begins anew. Heavy footsteps echoed behind her. Ashley's blood ran cold. He had found her. The man in black was back. Panic surged through her. She had to run, had to keep moving even though her lungs burned and her legs screamed for mercy. The footsteps grew louder, closer. He was gaining on her, his presence a suffocating weight on her back. Terror lent speed to her feet. She had to escape, had to find a way out of this nightmare, even if it killed her. Section 8. A moment of recognition. They reached a dead end. Ashley whirled around, her back against the cold wall, her breath coming in ragged gasps. The man in black approached, his face still hidden in shadow. But as he drew closer, a flicker of recognition sparked in Ashley's mind. His eyes. She knew those eyes. The cold, calculating gaze sent a shiver down her spine. It was him. He had been in her dreams. The realization hit her like a physical blow. This wasn't a dream. This was real. And she knew with chilling certainty that he meant her harm. Section 9. Desperate measures. He reached for her. Ashley lashed out, her fist connecting with his jaw. He stumbled back, momentarily surprised. It was now or never. She pushed past him, her heart pounding against her ribs, her mind a whirlwind of fear and adrenaline. She had to find the other Ashley. Maybe together, they could find a way out of this nightmare, break free from his grasp. But even as the thought formed in her mind, a cold, sinking feeling told her it was too late. They were both trapped. Section 10, A False Dawn, a door. Ashley stumbled through it, her lungs burning, her vision blurring at the edges. Was this it? Was this the way out? The room was bathed in warm golden light. A sense of peace settled over her, a stark contrast to the terror that had gripped her for so long. She was safe. She had escaped. Relief washed over her, leaving her weak and trembling. She had woken up. A figure stepped into the light. It was the other Ashley, her face no longer a mirror of fear but of gentle understanding. Section 11, The cycle continues. Ashley reached out, a sob catching in her throat. "It's over," she whispered, her voice hoarse with relief. "We're safe." The other Ashley smiled sadly. "It's never over, Ashley," she said, her voice soft as a whisper. "It just begins again." The room began to dissolve, the golden light fading, replaced by the cold, sterile white of the first room. Ashley's blood ran cold. No, it couldn't be. She had escaped. She had woken up, hadn't she? The man in black stood in the doorway, his face now clear in the harsh light. He smiled, a chilling, triumphant smile. "Welcome back, Ashley," he said.